Well, hey now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. I am doing another thread, this time 5 records that I will never sell. Never say never. Um, it's an interesting concept because you think about things like sentimental value, you think about market value of the record. Some of these things, if you were to sell them, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get another one like it back without paying a pretty penny. I guess almost everything is available somewhere on Discogs or eBay for some price. But I lean more towards the sentimental value of these records. Of course, I could sell them, and I could then rebuy them again for not that much. I've actually got 6 here. I'm breaking the rules as always. So six records I would never sell. I'm sure I've got others, but these are ones of particular sentimental value that I need in my collection to make me feel warm and fuzzy and safe when I go to bed at night. So first one, no particular order, but would be the Plastic Ono Band. This was the record that really introduced me to John Lennon post-Beatles. I'd heard, of course, things like Imagine and Give Peace a Chance and things like that, post-Beatles. But this was a record that I owned, listened to, lived through. For any of you who know this record came at a time which was just perfect for me, second year university. And this is, as many of you who know this record, is a very beautiful and raw and painful record. There's a lot of stuff on here. It really covers the gamut. So when I think about things like My Mother's Dead, gotta refresh my memory, Well, which apparently was a Primal Scream therapy product. Yeah, My Mummy's Dead. God is a concept by which we measure our pain. Remember, which is great track. Working Class Hero, such a raw comment on class society and also sort of the stupidity of maybe coming from the perspective of being a working class hero. Isolation. This is just wall-to-wall great, but this is the first John Lennon record that I got to know intimately. It came into my life when I most needed it, and I can remember screaming, while trashing the furniture in our kitchen in second year university with Richard. That's record one, never sell. This is another one that would be, has both sentimental value and maybe a little bit of dollar value. So this is Luna, live Penthouse. So some of you know this. I mean, you know that I'm a huge Luna fan. And this was a 3-night run at the Chapel in San Francisco. And there was a label called Bandbox that put out, or at least was planning to put out, the 3 releases of the 3 nights where they played the records in their entirety. So Bewitched, this one this one is Penthouse and Rendezvous. There's a story behind this, which some of you may know. Bandbox went broke in the middle of shipping their 3rd release from these 3 releases at the Chapel, and January 2017, I'm going to put a picture of a poster. So I was there for all 3 nights. This one in particular is a favorite because my friend Mark makes a cheer noise in the crowd, and it's unmistakable. Mark, I played it for friends. This live recording and all 3 of these releases are outstanding. The sound quality is outstanding. It surpasses Tell Me If You Miss Me, that live recording, which I have. Just stellar live recordings. In fact, I love those shows at the Chapel, but I don't remember being as good as these recordings show them to be. Just amazing. Fantastic. So yeah, these are, I think, very hard to get now. I'm waiting for Rendezvous. It's taken 2 years through the court system. I'm not navigating the lawsuits, but apparently another company has been tasked with fulfilling the purchases that we all made, and I'm hoping in the next few weeks that I will have my live Rendezvous as well. But Luna, 3 nights at the Chapel, Just fantastic and would be a hard one to replace. Back to sentimental value, not so much dollar value. And again, this was a record that introduced me, I think, to the solo works of Brian Eno, Another Green World. I've always loved this record. There's so much variety on it, from just beautiful pastoral, sweeping and majestic ambient music to just some pop confections like I'll Come Running to Tie Your Shoe. I love this record and could not live without this in my record collection. This one, I think, has very little value probably on the market, although I was in my favorite record store, Audiopile, today. I saw a similarly beat up copy, not as beat up as this, for 25 bucks. So, and that's David Live. I talk about this quite a bit, but this really was my high school David Bowie record. You know, it's ultimately a greatest hits recorded live at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia. Just love this, absolutely love this record. And I don't want to give up this one because it's just being kept together by, metaphorically twining wire. And it is such a fantastic record. Now we're kind of upping the dollar value maybe a little bit. And another one that introduced me to late career Chet Baker, and really for me, Chet Baker, period. And that's my favorite songs. This is on the Enya label. This was a Canadian pressing, got this recently, and I just love this record. It's not an easy one to come across. It's it tends to be fairly expensive on Discogs, but this is with an orchestra. I've talked about this before. It's with an orchestra. There's basically three incarnations: sort of a moderate-sized jazz band, orchestrated band, and then a large orchestra. I think that's right. All blues, My Funny Valentine, Well You Needn't. Just a fantastic record, beautifully recorded, and Chet, every note just as pure and beautiful as one could expect from Chet. The beautifully sweet sounds of his trumpet and his vocals, both. My favorite song is The Last Great Concert. There's a volume 2, which I just picked up this year as well. Absolutely love this record. And finally, this one, I don't know what the value is. The actual record, probably not that great, but this was a high school favorite of mine. And that is the Frank Zappa Zoot Allures. Has what I consider to be one of the greatest guitar solos ever recorded in Black Napkins. It's also got the really bizarre and incredible production sound of The Torture Never Stops. But you'll see here, my brother, and I thank him for this, he went down when I was not able to the Record Peddler or Records on Wheels, one of those stores in Toronto, and got signatures from all the band members. So you got Frank Zappa's there, Eddie Jobson, Terry Boggio, Pat O'Hearn, and Ray White. Signed copy of Zoot Allures. So those are 5 records that I will never let out of my sight, out of my collection. What are yours? Down below, I will put the link to Vinyl Narrative as well. Thanks for coming up with this excellent thread. Carpe diem, motherfuckers.